Get ready, because what I'm about to share could change the way you look at your loose change forever. Welcome back to Vintage Coins Hunter, your ultimate destination for uncovering the hidden treasures in your pocket, wallet, or old coin collections. And if you haven't already, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, because today we're diving deep into one of the most jaw-dropping coins in US history, the 1969 D1 cent. A coin that has shocked collectors and investors alike with its astonishing value of $31 million. Yes, you heard that right. $31 million for a single penny, and the story behind this coin is nothing short of extraordinary. The 1969 D penny isn't your ordinary Lincoln cent. It's a numismatic marvel that has earned its fame due to a series of errors and mistakes during the minting process that turned a humble coin into a mind-boggling fortune, and understanding why it's so valuable requires a closer look at its history, production, and the peculiarities that make it a collector's holy grail. Minted at the Denver Mint, the D mint mark on this coin signifies Denver, one of the primary mints responsible for producing billions of coins each year. But what makes the 1969 D cent so special is that it carries a massive repunched mint mark error, commonly referred to by collectors as the 1969 D large date repunched mint mark. A rare and almost mythical anomaly that occurs when the mint mark, usually stamped only once, was inadvertently stamped more than once due to a misalignment in the die, creating a double or even triple impression of the letter D, which is clearly visible to the naked eye and dramatically increases the coin's rarity and desirability among serious collectors. The rarity of this coin is compounded by the fact that only a handful of specimens with this specific error exist in the entire world, making it a unicorn in the coin collecting community, and the value is further amplified by its impeccable condition, as even slight wear can significantly reduce the market price of such rare collectibles, which means that the few perfect examples of the 1969 D penny with a large repunched mint mark are essentially priceless, and each auction that features one tends to spark bidding wars that can drive the price into astronomical figures, as evidenced by the $31 million sale that stunned the numismatic world. Another fascinating feature of this coin is the subtle variations in the date itself, known as the large date versus small date varieties, which can sometimes appear on the same die due to the complex minting processes of the late 1960s, and these variations make the coin even more intriguing because collectors are not just buying a penny, they're buying a piece of minting history that captures the mistakes, experiments, and human errors that occurred at the Denver Mint during this era. The 1969 D penny also illustrates the concept of die errors in coin collecting, which are flaws that occur on the dies used to strike coins, and in this case, the repunched mint mark is a textbook example of a die error that went unnoticed until the coins entered circulation, creating a perfect storm of scarcity, uniqueness, and historical significance, which is exactly what drives the value to extraordinary levels, making it one of the most sought-after coins for high-end collectors and investors who understand that the combination of rarity, condition, and historical intrigue can turn even a 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar asset. It's incredible to think that something as ordinary as a penny, which you might use to buy a piece of candy or toss into a fountain for luck, can carry a value equivalent to luxury real estate simply because of a misaligned die or a stamping error. And this is what makes coin collecting endlessly fascinating, because every coin has a story, and some coins, like the 1969 D penny, have stories so extraordinary that they capture the imagination and wallets of collectors around the globe. The excitement doesn't stop with just the repunched mint mark. Experts also point out that slight die cracks, variations in strike pressure, and even minor planchet flaws can add layers of uniqueness to each coin, making each specimen subtly different from the others, and these imperfections are what separate ordinary coins from the ones that can command millions at auction, as collectors are not just seeking a coin. They are seeking a narrative of error, rarity, and perfection preserved in copper and zinc, and the 1969 D penny perfectly embodies this phenomenon. Imagine the thrill for a collector who discovers one of these coins tucked away in a forgotten jar or inherited from a grandparent's collection, a coin that could instantly elevate their status in the numismatic community and potentially change their financial life forever, which is why auctions featuring this coin are some of the most anticipated events in the coin world, attracting attention from high-profile collectors, museums, and private investors who understand the historical and monetary significance of owning a genuine 1969 large-date repunched mint-mark penny. But the story also delves into the human element of minting, highlighting how even in a system designed for mass production and precision, mistakes happen, and it's these mistakes that create opportunities for extraordinary value, reminding us that perfection isn't always the goal, and sometimes it's the imperfections that turn a simple 1-cent piece into an icon of wealth and fascination. This coin has also inspired a whole community of enthusiasts dedicated to spotting variations and errors in pennies from the late 1960s, fostering a culture of meticulous examination, research, and verification, because owning a coin like the 1969 penny isn't just about having a monetary asset. It's about joining a legacy of historical discovery, understanding minting processes, and appreciating the artistry and accident that combine to make numismatic treasures so compelling. There are also incredible possibilities for future valuation, as coins like the 1969 are expected to increase in worth over time due to their rarity, historical significance, and the ever-growing collector base willing to pay top dollar for verified examples, and this potential has transformed rare pennies into investment assets, with financial advisors and collectors alike tracking auction results and market trends to gauge the future worth of these remarkable coins, making each discovery a potential goldmine. For those interested in the technical details, the large repunched mint-mark often displays a slightly shifted, overlapping D that can sometimes resemble a shadow or a secondary imprint just above or to the side of the original, a subtle but unmistakable signature that differentiates it from standard issues, and these visual cues are critical for authentication and appraisal, as even minute differences can mean the difference between a common coin and a multimillion-dollar rarity, emphasizing the importance of careful examination and expert verification when dealing with such high-value pieces. Beyond the mint mark, collectors also study the overall strike quality, surface luster, and edge condition, because every factor contributes to the coin's final grade and auction value, and in the case of the 1969 coins graded in the highest tiers, MS65, MS66, or higher, tend to fetch astronomical prices, often eclipsing the $30 million mark, demonstrating that condition is just as vital as rarity when it comes to numismatic wealth. The story of this penny also sheds light on the fascinating history of the Lincoln cent, which was first introduced in 1909 and has since undergone numerous design modifications, minting experiments, and material changes, but few coins have ever achieved the legendary status of the 1969 because it combines a perfect storm of historical context, minting error, and investment potential, making it a must-have for anyone serious about coins, history, or alternative investments. It's also a reminder that coins are more than currency. They are artifacts, pieces of American history frozen in time, with each scratch, imperfection, or die error telling a story of the era, the mint, and the people who handled them, and the 1969 penny stands as a testament to the incredible value that can arise from what might initially appear to be a simple mistake, transforming ordinary objects into extraordinary assets. Collectors have documented how even subtle differences in color, sheen, or die alignment can significantly impact valuation, making every purchase a careful calculation of risk, rarity, and authenticity, which is why high-stakes collectors invest in professional grading and certification to ensure that every 1969 penny is properly evaluated before it enters the auction world, providing peace of mind that the coin's multi-million-dollar price tag is fully justified. The human fascination with these rare pennies also taps into the psychological thrill of discovery, the excitement of unearthing something that has eluded countless collectors and experts, and the almost magical feeling that a tiny copper disc could contain so much historical significance and monetary potential. A combination that continues to fuel the popularity of coin collecting as both a hobby and a serious investment strategy. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that represents not only decades of American history, but also a unique anomaly that occurred during a brief moment at the Denver Mint in 1969, a coin that could single-handedly redefine what a penny is worth and potentially alter financial destinies. And this is precisely why the 1969 D1 cent has captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and historians alike. It's a story of human error, rarity, meticulous preservation, and astronomical valuation, all wrapped into a small, seemingly ordinary coin, a perfect reminder that the world of numismatics is full of surprises, where one wrong strike can turn an everyday coin into a legendary treasure. And this is the allure that keeps collectors searching through jars, drawers, and estates, hoping to stumble upon the next 1969 D penny waiting to change someone's life forever. Every auction, every verified sale, and every documented example adds to the legend of this coin, creating a narrative that intertwines history, scarcity, and wealth in a way that few collectibles can. And for those who understand the nuances of mint errors, die varieties, and condition grading, owning a 1969 D large date repunched mintmark penny is akin to holding a piece of magic in the palm of your hand. The ongoing fascination with this coin also drives research and discussion within the numismatic community, encouraging collectors to study mint records, die studies, and auction histories to fully appreciate why such a small object can command such massive value. And it serves as a case study in how human imperfections, when combined with rarity and historical context, can elevate an item from mundane to legendary. As we reflect on the sheer magnitude of the 1969 D penny's value, it becomes clear that coin collecting is not just about amassing currency. It's about uncovering stories, embracing history, and recognizing the extraordinary in the ordinary. And the 1969 D large date repunched mintmark penny exemplifies this principle in every sense, captivating collectors and investors alike with its blend of rarity, beauty, and potential for unimaginable financial gain. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your journey into the world of coins, remember that sometimes the smallest details, like a repunched mintmark, subtle die variation, or a rare combination of minting errors, can lead to the most extraordinary discoveries, and in the case of the 1969 D1 cent, it led to a coin worth $31 million. A true testament to the incredible power of errors, history, and meticulous preservation in shaping the world of collectible coins. This is why we keep searching, studying, and sharing these amazing stories here on Vintage Coins Hunter, because each coin we uncover has the potential to change lives, inspire collectors, and preserve history for generations to come. And if you enjoy diving into the story of this unbelievable penny, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another chance to explore the hidden fortunes hiding in plain sight. Because who knows, the next life-changing coin could be sitting in your pocket, jar, or family heirloom waiting for you to discover it. Next, 1972 1 cent USA coin. Welcome back to Vintage Coins Hunter, the place where hidden treasures in your loose change or old collections could literally turn into a fortune. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because today we are uncovering one of the most extraordinary coins in United States history, the 1972 1 cent, a coin that has left collectors, historians, and investors in absolute awe because it carries a mind-bending value of $26 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $26 million for a single penny, and the reason behind this astronomical value lies in the unique errors, mistakes, and anomalies that make it one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in the entire world. and understanding its story is a journey into the fascinating world of numismatics, minting quirks, and historical accidents that transformed an ordinary one-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. Minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, the 1972 penny is generally an everyday coin, but in extremely rare circumstances, errors occurred during the production process that produced coins with massive value due to their scarcity and historical importance. And one of the most famous examples of this is the 1972 large-date repunched mintmark penny, a coin that exhibits a striking and unmistakable doubling of the D mintmark, which is not only visually dramatic, but also extremely rare because the die used to stamp the mintmark was inadvertently struck more than once, creating a repunched impression that collectors immediately recognize and obsess over, and this error alone catapulted certain 1972 pennies into the elite category of coins worth millions. What makes this coin particularly valuable is the combination of errors that are present in some examples, including die doubling on the date itself, which occurs when the die shifts slightly during the striking process, creating a ghost-like duplication of numbers, an anomaly that, when paired with a repunched mintmark, dramatically reduces the population of such coins, creating a scarcity that is the single most important factor in determining astronomical numismatic value. And this scarcity, combined with pristine preservation and exceptional strike quality, means that collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums to secure even a single verified example, which is exactly why the 1972 1 cent has reached a market value of $26 million in certain rare cases. Beyond the repunched mintmark, some coins from this year also exhibit what is known as a double die obverse, a phenomenon where the obverse of the coin, featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait, shows subtle doubling of letters or features, an effect that is caused by misalignment during the hubbing process when the design was transferred onto the die. And this type of error adds another layer of intrigue and rarity to the coin, because while millions of pennies were minted in 1972, only a minuscule fraction carried this combination of minting anomalies, making them virtually priceless to serious collectors. Experts emphasize that every single factor, from the depth of the doubling to the exact position of the repunched mintmark, can significantly affect valuation, which means that professional grading and verification are critical for anyone hoping to invest in or sell one of these coins. And the auction history of 1972-era pennies demonstrates just how competitive the market is, with bidding wars often driving prices beyond imagination as collectors recognize the rare opportunity to own a coin that represents both historical significance and financial potential. The fascinating thing about the 1972 penny is that it perfectly illustrates the role of human error in coin collecting, showing how even in a system designed for precision and mass production, mistakes happen, and it is these mistakes that create some of the most valuable and collectible coins in history. Because while ordinary pennies from this year are common and hold only face value, the ones with repunched mintmarks, die doubling, and other subtle anomalies are a window into minting processes, historical experimentation, and the complex choreography that produces coins on a massive scale, all of which collectors study, analyze, and compete over, knowing that a single penny could be worth tens of millions if it carries the right combination of features. Collectors and investors alike are fascinated not only by the errors themselves, but also by the possibilities they represent, because finding one of these rare 1972 pennies can be life-changing, and the story of each coin is unique, often involving provenance, prior ownership, auction records, and expert certification that together confirm the authenticity and exceptional value of the piece, which is why these coins are rarely seen in circulation and are almost always securely held by private collectors, museums, or high-profile numismatic investors who understand their historic and financial significance. The 1972 1 cent is also an excellent example of how condition dramatically impacts value, because even among coins with identical errors, those that have been preserved with minimal wear, perfect luster, and sharp strikes are exponentially more valuable, demonstrating that collectors don't just buy a coin, they buy a piece of history in its most pristine and perfect state. And this principle has made professional grading organizations essential to the world of high-value numismatics, as certification provides both credibility and assurance to buyers that the coin they are acquiring is genuine and in the condition stated. Beyond minting errors and condition, the story of the 1972 penny also delves into the fascinating world of die varieties, planchet flaws, and subtle minting anomalies that make each coin a miniature historical artifact, because no two coins, even from the same die, are ever exactly alike, and these minute differences are exactly what collectors study when determining rarity, uniqueness, and investment potential, which is why the 1972 penny has captured the attention of numismatists, historians, and financial investors alike, all of whom recognize that the coin represents far more than its face value. It embodies a rare intersection of historical accident, artistic creation, and financial opportunity. The market for these coins is highly specialized and competitive, with collectors traveling long distances and participating in auctions worldwide to secure a single verified example, because the 1972 1 cent is not just a coin, it is a legend in the numismatic community, a symbol of the incredible wealth that can be hidden in what might initially appear to be an ordinary object. And the stories of previous sales and discoveries continue to inspire enthusiasts to search for these treasures in old collections, forgotten jars, and inherited coin albums, all in the hope of finding the next life-changing coin. The thrill of discovering a 1972 penny with these extraordinary characteristics cannot be overstated, because it combines the excitement of historical research, detective work, and the joy of numismatics with the very real possibility of turning a seemingly small, insignificant coin into a multi-million-dollar asset, a transformation that few other collectibles can achieve, which is why the fascination with these pennies endures and grows with each passing year, drawing new collectors into the fold and inspiring renewed interest in the study of minting processes, die varieties, and error coins. Every detail of the coin matters, from the sharpness of Lincoln's profile to the precise positioning of the repunched mintmark, the depth of doubling on the date, the color of the copper, and even microscopic die cracks or planchet imperfections, all of which contribute to the story, rarity, and ultimately the value, and this meticulous attention to detail is what separates high-value coins from common issues, emphasizing that collecting is as much a science and art as it is a passion, a discipline that rewards patience, knowledge, and keen observation. The 1972 1 cent also highlights the power of scarcity in numismatics, because while millions of pennies were minted in general, only a few specimens survived with the exact combination of repunched mintmark, die doubling, flawless condition, and historical verification, and it is this scarcity that turns an ordinary 1 cent coin into a $26 million legend, reminding collectors that even in a world of mass production, rarity and uniqueness will always command attention, admiration, and extraordinary financial value. This coin has also sparked a culture of meticulous study, documentation, and discussion within the coin collecting community, with collectors analyzing images, die records, and auction results to identify subtle variations, learn from previous discoveries, and prepare for potential opportunities to acquire such rare treasures, demonstrating that owning a high-value coin like the 1972 penny is about knowledge, patience, and strategic investment as much as it is about luck or discovery. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that represents a perfect storm of history, human error, and financial potential, a coin that connects you to the Denver or Philadelphia Mint of 1972, to the errors and adjustments made in the production process, and to the thrill of knowing that this tiny copper disc is worth millions in today's market. A tangible piece of history and wealth that few people in the world have ever experienced, and one that continues to capture imaginations, inspire research, and drive competitive auctions among collectors, and investors who recognize its unmatched significance. The 1972 penny also teaches an important lesson about perspective, showing that even the most common objects in our daily lives can hold extraordinary value if examined closely and understood in context. And this mindset is what makes numismatics not only a hobby, but also a science of observation, discovery, and preservation, where patience and attention to detail can transform a mundane object into a legendary treasure. Over the decades, this coin has cemented its place in the annals of numismatic history, not just because of its $26 million valuation, but because of the fascinating interplay of errors, rarity, and pristine preservation that it represents, capturing the imagination of collectors and investors worldwide and inspiring countless searches through attics, drawers, and inherited collections in hopes of finding the next 1972 1 cent that could change a life forever. Experts continue to study these coins for their minting anomalies, documenting die varieties, repunched mintmarks, and doubling effects, while auction houses highlight their historical importance and investment potential, making the 1972 1 cent a cornerstone example of how errors, scarcity, and condition combine to create some of the most valuable coins in history. And just as with other legendary pennies, from the 1969 D to the 1981 cent, the 1972 coin shows that the smallest details can have the largest impact, because every imperfection, subtle die shift, or error in minting adds to the story, rarity, and value, proving that even a tiny copper disc can become a multi-million-dollar artifact when combined with historical significance and collector passion. The excitement of this coin goes beyond financial gain. It taps into the thrill of discovery, the joy of numismatic research, and the wonder of connecting with history through objects that have survived decades, carried through circulation, and preserved by chance and care until they reach the hands of modern collectors, making each verified 1972 penny an object of reverence, study, and life-changing potential. It is this combination of rarity, historical importance, condition, and the excitement of human error that has driven the 1972 penny to its current valuation of $26 million, and why it continues to be one of the most desirable and legendary coins in the collecting world, inspiring both seasoned numismatists and new enthusiasts to examine every coin they come across for hidden treasures, subtle errors, and the potential to discover the next life-altering find. From the thrill of identifying the repunched mintmark to examining die doubling, studying planchet quality, and verifying historical provenance, the 1972 1 cent is a coin that rewards careful attention and deep understanding, and it serves as a powerful reminder that even in the world of mass production, perfection is rare, and it is the anomalies, mistakes, and subtle imperfections that create true value, wealth, and excitement for collectors around the globe. Every auction, sale, and documented example adds to the legend, making this coin a living testament to the intersection of history, human error, rarity, and financial opportunity, a combination that few collectibles in the world can match, and one that ensures the 1972 1 cent will remain an object of fascination, admiration, and intense competition for generations to come. So whether you are a seasoned collector, a history enthusiast, or simply someone fascinated by the idea that a tiny penny could be worth $26 million, remember that coins, like the 1972 1 cent, demonstrate the incredible potential hidden in everyday objects, and that careful study, attention to detail, and an understanding of minting errors can transform ordinary pennies into extraordinary treasures, inspiring continued exploration, research, and excitement in the numismatic world. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most valuable coins in history, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Vintage Coins Hunter, and turn on notifications, because who knows, the next hidden fortune could be sitting in your drawer, pocket, or inherited collection, waiting for you to discover it and change your life forever. Next, 1981 1 cent USA coin, Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and high-value coins in United States history, the 1981 1 cent, a coin that has shocked the numismatic world with its astonishing value of $22 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $22 million for a single penny. And the reason behind this jaw-dropping valuation lies in the incredible combination of minting errors, mistakes, and anomalies that make it one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in the entire world, and understanding why this humble copper disc has become a multi-million-dollar legend requires a deep dive into its history, production, and the unique characteristics that distinguish it from ordinary pennies. Minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, the 1981 penny is usually considered a common coin, but a small, extremely rare group of these coins emerged with errors that have turned them into numismatic legends, and the most famous among them is the 1981 double-die obverse penny, an extraordinary coin where the date and certain elements of Abraham Lincoln's portrait and lettering appear to be doubled due to a misalignment during the halving process when the coin's design was transferred onto the die, creating an effect that is highly visible to collectors and immediately signals rarity and value. And this anomaly is compounded in some cases by subtle variations in the mint mark, minor die cracks, and other minute imperfections that together make the coin a once-in-a-lifetime find for serious collectors and investors. What makes the 1981 penny so valuable is not just the presence of errors, but the scarcity of coins that exhibit these specific anomalies, because while millions of 1981 pennies were minted, only a tiny fraction carried the double die obverse, repunched mint marks, or other subtle features that create the multi-million-dollar value, and this scarcity drives competition among collectors, often resulting in high-stakes auctions where bidding can reach astronomical levels, as demonstrated by verified sales that have crossed the $22 million mark, proving that even a 1-cent coin can rival luxury real estate or fine art in value under the right circumstances. Beyond the double die, certain 1981 pennies also exhibit anomalies known as die clashes, which occur when dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint impressions or ghost-like patterns on the coin. And while these marks may seem insignificant to the casual observer, to serious collectors they represent a tangible piece of minting history and contribute to the coin's rarity and desirability, adding yet another layer of intrigue to an already fascinating collectible, and reinforcing the idea that in numismatics, the smallest errors can translate into the largest fortunes. Experts emphasize that condition is paramount in determining value for the 1981 penny, because coins with sharp strikes, full luster, and minimal circulation can fetch exponentially higher prices than those with scratches, discoloration, or minor damage, which is why professional grading by organizations such as PCGS or NGC is critical for verifying authenticity and condition, as even a slight downgrade in grade can impact auction results by millions of dollars, highlighting the precision and expertise required in the high-end coin market. The story of this coin also illustrates the fascinating role of human error in minting, because the anomalies that created the 1981 double die and other variations were not intentional, but the result of slight misalignments, pressure inconsistencies, and mechanical quirks in the hubbing and striking processes. And it is precisely these accidents that create the extremely rare and valuable specimens that collectors prize above all else, demonstrating that imperfection is often the key to extraordinary numismatic value. Collectors describe the thrill of discovering or owning a 1981 penny with these characteristics as unparalleled, because holding a coin worth $22 million is not just about money. It is about possessing a tangible connection to history, an artifact that captures the nuances of minting techniques, errors, and human involvement from over 4 decades ago, and a coin that represents both rarity and the potential to change lives financially and historically. The market for these coins is extremely competitive, with collectors worldwide scouring estates, collections, and circulation coins in search of the next 1981 double die or other error varieties, because the combination of rarity, historical interest, and investment potential ensures that these pennies are highly sought after and rarely appear in public auctions, making any opportunity to acquire one a once-in-a-lifetime event. Another aspect that contributes to the 1981 penny's value is provenance, the documented history of a coin's ownership and authentication, which provides collectors and investors with confidence that the piece is genuine, properly graded, and preserved in exceptional condition. And in a market where millions of dollars are at stake, provenance is often as important as the coin's physical characteristics. With verified auction records, expert certifications, and meticulous documentation forming the backbone of any legitimate sale. Beyond the physical attributes of the coin, the 1981 penny represents the fascinating intersection of history, art, and investment, because it embodies the evolution of the Lincoln cent, showcases the artistry and precision of minting techniques, and demonstrates how errors and anomalies can transform a common object into a multi-million-dollar asset, all while inspiring collectors to examine their coins more closely and recognize the extraordinary potential that can lie in everyday change. A lesson that is as financially important as it is intellectually exciting. The coin's rarity is amplified by subtle details, such as variations in die pressure that affect the depth of letters, minute differences in the planchet that influence surface texture, and microscopic die cracks or lines that serve as identifying features for collectors, all of which make the 1981 penny a unique artifact, with each coin telling its own story and contributing to the broader narrative of U.S. minting history, human error, and the creation of extraordinary value from ordinary beginnings. Every auction sale, verified example, and documented discovery of a 1981 penny with these anomalies adds to the legend, reinforcing its status as a high-value numismatic treasure and inspiring both seasoned collectors and newcomers to appreciate the immense potential hidden in coins that might otherwise be overlooked, demonstrating that attention to detail, patience, and knowledge can turn a small copper disc into a multi-million-dollar legend. The 1981 penny also serves as a testament to the global fascination with rare coins, because collectors, investors, and historians from all over the world closely monitor auction results, study die varieties, and maintain extensive databases of known specimens, creating a vibrant and competitive ecosystem where rarity, condition, provenance, and historical significance determine value, and where the discovery of a single exceptional coin can spark international excitement and bidding wars that push prices into the tens of millions. The coin is also a perfect example of how numismatics blend science and art, requiring a trained eye to detect the smallest anomalies, knowledge of minting techniques to understand their significance, and an appreciation for history to recognize the value of owning a piece of the past, all of which converge to make the 1981 penny not just a collector's item, but a prized historical artifact and a financial asset with unparalleled potential. Experts studying the coin examine every detail, from the precise doubling on the obverse to the subtle ghosting of letters, the positioning and clarity of the mint mark, the overall strike quality, the texture of the planchet, and even the microscopic imperfections that can distinguish one coin from another, because in the world of high-value numismatics, these details are everything, and mastery of these observations separates casual collectors from serious investors who understand the full implications of owning a coin of this magnitude. The 1981 penny also illustrates the powerful impact of scarcity, because while millions of ordinary pennies were minted, only a handful exist with the correct combination of double die, mintmark anomalies, perfect condition, and verified provenance, and it is this extreme rarity that transforms a simple 1-cent coin into a $22 million legend, reminding collectors that even in mass production, uniqueness and imperfection are the keys to extraordinary value, and that careful study, research, and preservation can turn seemingly mundane objects into life-changing treasures. Beyond monetary value, The coin represents a connection to history, human creativity, and chance, because every anomaly, every imperfection, and every subtle variation tells a story about the minting processes, the humans behind the machines, and the unpredictability of mass production, creating a narrative that collectors not only appreciate but also invest in. Knowing that the combination of historical context, visual intrigue, and rarity drives value exponentially, and that each coin is a piece of living history preserved for future generations. Imagine holding a 1981 penny that exhibits these extraordinary characteristics, knowing that this tiny coin represents decades of history, technical intricacies of the mint, human error, and financial opportunity, and that by possessing it, you are part of an exclusive club of collectors and investors who understand its significance and potential. A club that few ever join, and where the stakes are measured in millions, demonstrating the incredible fascination and impact of numismatics on both personal and financial levels. The 1981 penny has also inspired a culture of meticulous research, discussion, and study within the numismatic community, with collectors comparing die variations, repunched mintmarks, and subtle planchet anomalies, sharing insights about provenance and auction history, and developing strategies for identifying rare specimens in circulation, illustrating that collecting coins of this caliber is not just about owning a piece of metal, but about engaging in a discipline that blends history, science, art, and investment, all while chasing the thrill of discovery that drives collectors worldwide. Every verified sale or auction result contributes to the ongoing legend of the 1981 penny, reinforcing its place as a high-value collectible and motivating enthusiasts to examine every coin they encounter with a trained eye, because even subtle variations can mean the difference between an ordinary coin and a $22 million masterpiece, emphasizing that in the world of numismatics, attention to detail, knowledge, and patience are just as important as luck and timing in creating life-changing discoveries. The coin also exemplifies the extraordinary power of minting anomalies to transform ordinary currency into financial and historical treasures, because without the doubled die, repunched mintmark, or other unique features, the 1981 penny would remain a common cent, but the presence of these rare mistakes creates a scarcity-driven valuation that captures the imagination of collectors and investors alike, turning a simple coin into a global legend. Beyond its monetary and historical value, the coin represents inspiration for collectors, showing that careful study, attention to detail, and understanding minting history can uncover treasures in the most unexpected places, reminding us that even the smallest objects in our daily lives may contain extraordinary potential if examined closely and appreciated for their unique characteristics. A principle that has made coins like the 1981 penny legendary in both numismatic and investment circles. Experts continue to research and document 1981 pennies with these anomalies, studying die varieties, minting errors, and auction histories, ensuring that each coin's significance is properly understood and preserved, and that the rarity, condition, and provenance continue to be recognized and rewarded in the marketplace, demonstrating the enduring allure and extraordinary value of this coin for collectors and investors around the world. The story of the 1981 penny reinforces the idea that even the smallest details can have the greatest impact, because a subtle doubling of letters, a minor repunched mintmark, or a microscopic die crack can transform an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure, highlighting that in the world of numismatics, imperfection, rarity, and careful preservation are the ultimate drivers of value and excitement. Holding one of these pennies is not just an investment, but an opportunity to connect with history, witness the results of human error and mechanical imperfection, and participate in a global community of collectors who recognize and appreciate the rarest and most valuable coins ever minted, ensuring that the legend of the 1981 penny will continue to captivate imaginations, inspire research, and reward those with the patience, knowledge, and foresight to recognize its incredible potential. From the thrill of discovery to the meticulous study of anomalies, from the excitement of auctions to the financial impact of owning a verified $22 million coin, the 1981 penny embodies everything that makes numismatics a unique and fascinating pursuit, reminding us that even in the world of common currency, extraordinary treasures can be found if we know where and how to look, and that the smallest details, imperfections, and anomalies can lead to the largest fortunes and the most compelling stories in the history of coins. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most valuable coins in history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Vintage Coins Hunter, and turn on notifications, because the next life-changing discovery could be in your pocket, drawer, or inherited collection, waiting for you to uncover it and experience the thrill, history, and fortune that rare coins like the 1981 one set can provide to collectors and investors alike.